So the house is a little loud. People are probably going to start the TV soon. Um, let's just try that. Is this a good speaking voice? Should I be talking a little louder, a little softer? I think I'm gonna kind of tense up as I start drawing, especially leaning over. And let's see. Brush here. So basically designing a little house inside of this thing, um, basically a soda can. Um, got probably some furniture. Gonna have to get a little inventive with the shapes because curved walls, something like that. And we'll give it some framework here. Dun, 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 dun. And then finally some shelving. Right here we've got the computer monitor. And some speakers. Let's give you a speaker here. Da-dum, da-dum. Da-dum, da-dum. Alrighty, and let's do a nice backing chair here. Give a separate wheel there. Alright, fill like that. And then of course we gotta give some depth to these shelvings. I always do shading a little too soon. I had to back that out. If you do your shading, you can't do the final midtones. Alright, now what else do we need in this room? We need a bed. Now the pillow needs some volume, otherwise it looks a little flat. Alright. And we're seeing too much of the top of the bed, so I add some depth there. This really should be a little lower. Curved poster. Let's just say, hey, there's some mountains here. A nice lake. What else? We need a little kitchen of some sort. Let's do some sort of side table going on here. A little burner. And a shelf up top of that. Gotta remember the curve can't be too deep, which means the shelf has to come out further. give some definition to this shape here. It's actually higher than everything else, so the curve's going to be a bit of a recurve. Everything else has maybe gone a little too shifty here. Anyway, let's give you a little carpet under there with some shoes or something poking out. Definition to this here. Right. See if we can get that a little tighter. Yeah, not really. So let's give some colors now. Basic silver. Colas are usually always kind of a red label. Honk, 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 honk. And then let's go ahead and give this a silver top. But it's got to be a little lighter. Okay. You know what? They put in some carpeting. Let's go with that. Fill with a different color there. And then this one, let's say the carpet they chose, they tried to match the outdoors. Wow, I don't even see where the, there we go. So, something like that. Bedding, let's go ahead and stick with blue for bedding, but lighten it up, saturate it a little. Honk, honk, honk. I think we can just go ahead and delete some of these lines here. There we are. And then, since we were thinking deleting this, let's go ahead. Separate all that. Honk, honk, honk. Alright. And then go back to the blanket color. And just make it more of a dark and a little bit more. Oh, let's try that again. Slightly more purple, slightly more saturated and dark. Honk. Yeah. And then the pillow, let's give it its own standout color of some sort. I do want it more green, I think. There we are. Okay, furniture. Always love wooden furniture. It's kind of my go-to. Bonk, 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 bonk. I'm missing that. There we go. It's kind of a tight squeeze here. I think we have to draw that one in. Nice and gentle. Itty bitty stroke. There we are. Okay, and now we darken a little. Quite a bit actually for the internal wood. So I don't really have a reason why I'm doing this. Kind of just that I enjoy the idea. Obviously, I'm not good at it. That's something to say. Control Z. So mostly I try to Control Z only when I make a like hit and miss situation, like that. Like hitting offsides on a line. I don't know. I do think Control Z can become just a nasty habit. Very easy to get stuck being too precious with lines, you know. Just about there. Don't need this line. I think I'm going to use this color for the mountain here. Everything else can be what I want, but okay. Select by color, dunk, or it's got a name. Contiguous selection tool. Now G for gradient. I just want some white down low and some more of a gray from up top. Give it a morning feel. Which now I do that to the water as well. Dunk. Gradient, and actually I want to pull, well, let's start with this, and then that color. Let's go ahead and like do false mountain, wiggly mountain thing. Alright, now reselect. Dunk, dunk. And we're heading more into kind of a mid gradient. Actually, I want to do just a little more selection because I want the brighter color to be coming out right at the base of the mountain. Dunk. Something like that. And then the sun here no longer makes sense, but maybe we can just make it into a moon. Like that. Chunka, chunka, chunka. And then give that a little side reflection right in here. And you know what? I'm not too happy with the brown. Let's yeah, let's go more silhouette. Bonk, bonk, bonk. And then what we want is take the brightest color right about there and give it a heads up. This is where the water line is against the base of the mountain. Nice. Alright, low color issue here. Let's go a little bit darker to show the change in direction of the rim. Knockout. Yeah. Control Z that. Alright. You know, no hard and fast rules, just in general try not to use Control Z. Alright, let's put some stuff on the bed. I'm not too concerned what that is, but just gives it a little bit of a lived-in look. Okay. Some background. And finally this little brush, this little cap topper, soda topper here. Alright. And now we need to say where this light is coming from. Alright. Donk, donka, donka, donk. Alright, so now let's give the place a little bit more fill in. I'm just going to say this is very solid. Alright. Back to wood. For the shelving, boonk, boonk. I don't really want it to be the main feature. Kind of forgot what this was supposed to be. Oh, a burner. Okay. Let's give it some knobs. Alright. Alright, new layer for lighting. And all we do is switch over to something not too saturated, but definitely bright. And we want a different pen. The one I've been using all this time, Ink Tilt 10. And I want an airbrush, kind of a heavy one. And just imply lighting is generally hitting from that light. I also want to, this one's gonna get a little fancy, I think, where I want to imply that this light is directly coming from the open bottle cap. There we go. So now just be a little more gentle with the bounce lighting. Alright, and then come over with opacity and just turn it down a bit. There we are. And you know what? It kind of looks like a camp scene. Obviously, I need practice, but this is fun. Wouldn't mind doing a couple more of these. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of that. Keep drawing, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.